Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
I would clean that bone about as good as anything.
Matt Hayes.
The guys they had last year, terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
Mama know that when you get to camp, you ain't gonna see a lot of Big Daddy.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
2 o'clock hour about to strike. Welcome in XL Primetime. Good to go on a Thursday. Fired up. You feel that heat out there, fellas?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
feel that heat? Okay. That is a microwave. All right, that's a toaster oven. But that's what you deal with. And here we are, mid-June. We'll get into July and training camp days, and that temp probably going to be way up there and it's that stifling heat without any wind moving around or anything like that. But until then, until they have to show up for training camp, you can just sit back and just kind of bake under the sun instead of practice under the sun. You'll take that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Comparatively speaking.
Joe, you know what the hottest part of my day is, bro?
Yeah.
Is that when your car sits out in the heat all this morning,
yeah.
and then when you get in the car and your AC takes about 30, 45 seconds to get cool.
Yes.
I do most of my sweating just then, bro.
Yeah.
Right before I put my car, when I turn the ignition on, that's when I get my most sweat.
Yeah, and you can't cool off.
You can't.
And it takes a minute for that AC to definitely get there. Now, a guy that didn't cool off, we need to talk about this as we go along. We got college football, we got NFL. Big Surse has got a Jags poser with our XLP Big Three. Now, a poser's he's going to pose a question. He ain't a poser. But the AP poker fight, Adrian Peterson swinging over cards.
Yeah.
Something else. We got to
I'm
get
disappointed.
into that
I'm
today.
disappointed. The squabble game is all. It's an embarrassment, but all football players.
Yeah.
You know the scoop and score. Just scoop and score. The game's over.
Yeah, and so that means you just got one good swing. Make sure you're done, right?
He might have an anger problem.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well, listen, have you
He did have the switch that he was in his kid with.
with the
Remember that?
youngster, yeah, and obviously that one was not a good look for him, and he ended up.
You never got hit by a switch, Grandma?
Yeah, I did.
My grandma used to make me go get my switch.
Believe me, I know all about
I got
that.
hit by the back of a hand. I got
Huh?
I got slapped, man.
Yeah, but nothing worse than having to go pick out your own.
No,
I got
no.
slapped in church one time.
By who?
My dad.
Well, I ain't no.
For laughing.
For laughing?
Me and my brother said a joke and I started laughing. I just whack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I didn't laugh in church again.
Yeah. I believe you didn't.
Different time.
Yes,
That's for sure.
different time,
That's
yes.
for sure. All right, so we get it.
And not only that, his friends behind us were like shaking their head. Damn right, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His friends.
Yeah, his friends.
on
Wait,
his
they
side,
endorsed the
You
punishment?
better believe that.
Of course they did. They loved it. Was it younger brother or older brother?
Younger brother.
Of course.
He didn't get it, of course.
See, I got the wooden spoon in the
got
hand.
those. Got
I mean,
those.
not to the face like Matt. Matt's any bad thing that happened in your childhood, Matt will try to outdo you.
I can guarantee you Joe
He's
got
like,
slapped.
I got
guarantee you
slapped,
did.
punched, and then I had to sleep on the
Just
cold
hang on a second,
ground.
Joe. Did you ever get slapped?
I've told the story once before.
I'm sure you did get slapped.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're a one-upper
I
when it
had-
comes to bad childhoods.
Listen, I got the belt. I had to drive my dad to the ER because he had a cut on his thumb that got knocked open because he was knocking me around. Okay. I had
And it
to
was
drive
your
him to the ER. Okay, so I was.
So suck it, JJ.
Yeah, I wasn't a terrible kid, but I did get in a little bit of trouble.
Right, we all did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
You
course.
know what I never understood about when you used to get whoopings and when you cry and they say, "Oh, I'll give you something to cry about." Well, I don't understand. I'm already crying. What you trying to outdo
But it
the
made,
cry?
it made you stop, didn't it?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't stop crying.
It's that Eddie Murphy. I hate her. God kill her.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, that
The
part.
worst was your mom being like, "Wait till your dad
Wait
gets
till
home."
your
Oh,
dad.
I hated
So-
that.
You're just
It was
like,
the worst.
damn it, man.
Just beat me now.
4 hours, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like
those
4
3
hours
or
of
4 hours is
yeah.
brutal.
It's an
And your dad-
eternity.
And your dad come home at 1 a.m. at the.
You try to greet him at the door or something, and be like,
shift.
"Hey,
That's the same thing, Ralphie.
you love me, remember?"
Yeah.
Before
Randy's
anyone
under the
tells you
kitchen
anything.
sink.
And some-
Daddy's gonna
Yeah,
kill
exactly.
Ralphie.
Yeah, I mean, 2 a.m. Somebody ate the big piece of chicken, and he's already upset.
So, my dad, KZ, he took, and I've told this story before. I'm almost positive, but he took the big end of the pool cue, cut it in half.
Oh Lord!
Drilled a hole through it, sanded it down, varnished it, had a leather strap on it, delivered it to our 6th grade teacher, Miss Taylor, and we had the Whalum
You
Wall.
said you could use this whenever you need
Exactly. We had the Whalum Wall.
The Inquisition?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
what the hell is going on in Catholic schools?
It was
I'm telling you, man, Catholics do not care.
it was accepted and recommended.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, my dad has plenty of stories about the nuns just being
Oh, yeah.
absolutely brutal to him.
Yeah, Sister Rose Carmel.
See, you
Sister
don't even
Rose
remember her
Gonzaga.
name.
Sister. Oh my gosh, I can go down the line with those ladies.
Sister Mary was just
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, Sister Marilyn could grow a mustache in like 3 days. It was just unreal. Unreal. All right, so we'll
The
get
one
going.
good thing about public school is I didn't get beat on by my teachers. I wish they would.
Amen, JJ.
Even the lay teachers, Miss Solana, I will take you and shake you, and she's got you by the hair, and you're going in every different direction.
But JJ, every public school had a Coach Swift that had the paddle, though.
That's true.
I had Coach
Oh,
Swift.
we definitely had like that. Yeah, he was like the assistant,
Coach
whatever.
Swift was like a semi-pro former football
Bro,
player.
our elementary school,
Yeah,
I guess they called him the dean, I guess is what it was.
yeah.
He had a paddle that he drilled holes in so the air could get through it
create
quicker
the welts.
and create the
Bro,
wells.
Coach Swift hit me with a pad. It was either go home on suspension, which that was not going to
No,
happen.
that one, you were taking that
Or
one.
you're going to take 3 paddles.
Right.
And he hit me with the first one, and it shook my soul. I swear, it shook my soul. Like,
Dude, we had a guy who used to play baseball for the Gators. His name was Falcone. I just looked up Dave Falcone. He was like an assistant. Or no, he was like a teacher, but he had this paddle and he would like put it in the front of the class. Like, I wish you would. Like to the kids, it was very intimidating. Yes, but he had like the home run record for the Gators for a long time. I think.
Falcone.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've all survived either some form of capital punishment and what was it, our formal education or whatever, I will let the Modelo Yellow out now because that is worth celebrating.
Yeah. How
on
do
a
we even
Thursday.
start talking about that?
All right, so we get it going. A Thursday's how it kind of gets you in the mood for the weekend. We are always involved in a 4-day weekend here on XL Primetime. So a little Modelo Yellow for you. The Adrian Peterson fight, though, we were just talking about card games before we got on the air. And if you haven't seen it, TMZ, of course, TMZ's everywhere because TMZ is everybody who has a video.
Well, because they pay money. That's
Exactly. Whoever has video, they contact TMZ. TMZ then puts it out there like they were there the whole time. Well, anyway, it looks like they're involved in a poker in a card game, and then all of a sudden it goes crazy and he tries to take a swing and he didn't land his first punch. Adrian Peterson, other dude did, and then it kind of got squabbly after that. But anyway, you were talking about some of those anxious moments when it comes.
yeah. Well,
playing
listen,
cards.
maybe I just assumed the brother had the swabble game. That's
He
all.
looked terrible.
He looked terrible throwing those punches. Whatever. But you're 2 times the size of the person. Just go this, like I said, scoop
Bro,
and
he
score.
got rocked.
He did get rocked.
There was
Say
a
what it
point-
is. He got
And
rocked.
I have to question the legitimacy of this poker tournament. It just looks like something all
Underground,
kind of
very
shady.
underground.
It did.
Yeah,
it did
you
look
know,
fake.
so you know they're dealing with straight cash, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so that's why I was telling
And
JJ.
someone took a peek at someone else's
Exactly.
card.
I told JJ that I don't play poker. I play poker with civilized people, okay? Doctors, lawyers, architects. You know, there's no squabble going on here. The money's put away.
Yeah.
You know, it's friendship. That right there, that's got all kinds
And
of.
it also, there was probably some drinks involved.
Yes, of course.
And maybe they have been going on for hours. You never have
Yeah, exactly.
really any clue how long it's been going on. And you may have seen, like one dude may have duped you on a good bluff and he's coming back again and you think you figured him out. And then all of a sudden you're all frosty.
Or
and
he's
hot.
talking over the table during a bet, like while someone
True.
else is making a bet. Like there's so many things that could have been at a poker
Could've been
game.
a
I've
bet.
seen a million of
It
them.
could have been a bad beat. Adrian
could have been.
Could have been a bad beat. He
It
could have
just
had
make you angry.
Yeah, he might have had a straight, and the guy had a.
I hope he doesn't need the cash like that.
All I know is he got rocked.
Yeah.
I mean, he got rocked.
He got rocked.
He leaned in really early in that scuffle and just got a right directly to the face.
It got you. It got you. All right. So if you have any poker squabbles, you can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at
Brought to you by the best
641-1010.
bet.
Yeah, you can let us know. And yeah, hopefully not there. They take good
No,
care of you
they're
there.
very
Yeah,
professional.
they take good care of you there. That's for sure.
And the security guard, by the way.
Yeah.
Worst security guard I've ever seen in this Adrian Peterson video, man.
Well,
Helpless. This guy had no chance whatsoever at stopping that fight.
If you do hire a security guard for a poker game, then you know the potential is there. That something could happen.
And make sure that he's a bigger guy
It's not
that can
amongst-
fight.
Yeah. It's not amongst everybody that knows everybody if they have a security guard there. Although I did see at the beginning of this video, and you may not have caught this off the TMZ one, someone had brought him a chair, the security guard, a chair, so he could sit and relax. Because nothing was going on. Been a late night poker game. They said,
Was the guy's name George? Was that one of the players?
I just saw it.
All right.
But he just said, just sit, just relax. Take your feet, take a load off. And then boom, this happened.
And then
You never know.
all hell broke loose.
He was falling asleep.
Always got to be ready. Always got to be ready. All right, now.
I wish you could enjoy these jokes, Leon, with us.
He will one day. He will.
I gotta start watching Seinfeld.
Yeah,
You
at
do.
some point you have
At
to,
some
bro.
point I do.
Seriously, yeah.
Okay.
Just got to break down and do it.
One day you will. As a matter of fact, this is a total aside. TLD, and this is something that
He might think it's completely stupid, though. You know?
Doubt it.
but this is something that the great Hayes Carline can appreciate. And, of course, JJ and Matt. So they put together, there's all these things that you can find, but they put it together. And you YouTubers, you probably know a little bit about this as far as Seinfeld is concerned. But anyway, they put together whatever you want to call them, actors, actresses that have appeared as different characters in Seinfeld. And they're years apart. And so trying to notice who was who. So just kind of spin through those, Matt, because it's just crazy when you start seeing
Like side characters?
yeah, just supporting actors and actresses that just pop up.
Wow.
And one of them was like the one that took the peach seed out that George had, and then he had to break up with her. And
There's a lot of randoms in there. Like a Patton Oswalt's in an episode. He works at like I don't even remember, a
played two different-
videotape store.
but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, played two different characters. maybe.
Oh, the same actor plays two
Yes,
different
yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show it to you, but maybe like two seasons
Yeah,
apart.
the cop and the trip, and then Jake Jamal. Yeah, same. Yeah.
So Hayes Carline would enjoy that. He got me with a shocker the other day.
What was it?
He's never seen The Sopranos.
I don't know about that.
He told me that, and I was like, we need to have like an intermission for you, bro.
Intervention. What I'm saying is that I don't know about that. That's not acceptable. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Yeah,
And I
because-
know he would love it too. It's like, wow, man, that one passed you by.
We have said it so many times that without The Sopranos, these other great series that we've all enjoyed over
Breaking
time,
Bad.
it would have taken forever for them to get there if The Sopranos hadn't been the original. They're so good.
Kramer's Reality Bus Passenger and Shlomo.
Who was Shlomo?
They're all good, man. They're all good. All right, so let's pose our XLP Big Three. Big Sur's has got it today, okay? So the XLP Big Three gives you three different options. And look, we just came out of, what was it, Dreamland yesterday with the idea that maybe a Major League Baseball team was coming here when we set up our show yesterday. Still good news as far as what might be happening with the Rays as far as a sale. But Big Sur's has created three possibilities, okay? Now, I just want you to whet their appetite, Leon, with what you got. And,
Well, I got three categories with three to four different possibilities.
Okay.
And you bet which one's more likely to happen for the Jaguars.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna wet the whistle a little bit. Okay, category one. All right, the three possibilities. We got BTJ with 75 receptions,
Nice.
1,350 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
I think everybody would take that.
Number two.
Very doable, by the way. Very doable.
Number two is the Jaguars, 12-4, division champs, and number 2 seed. Okay.
A little bigger hill to
That'd be a
climb.
huge leap right there.
Number 3 is Travis Hunter, 5 interceptions and 2 return for a touchdown.
Oh, I love that.
So
Are we putting them in order? Or what
no.
Just ponder it.
Just ponder what is more. What if you had to bet? And I got the betting odds on it.
2 pick sixes.
Yeah, I got
All
the
right.
betting odds.
Very rare.
Yeah. So what's more likely to happen?
So what's more likely
And
to
what are you
happen?
willing to
What
put
would
your
you
money
put your money on out of those three right there?
All right. So think about it.
BTJ,
Think about it. All right. We'll come back with what we got.
We got you.
You guys hit the text line 641-1010. Jump in the YouTube chat. You got a BTJ prop. You got a Travis Hunter prop. And you got a Jaguar prop. I know the one they'd want more than the others, but what do you think will happen? What would you be willing to bet on? Do it coming up. We got some college football as well to talk about. It is XL Primetime.
You will tell me what I want to know.
You're not getting anything out of me.
Who sent you here?
The good people of Jacksonville.
Who are you?
1010XL.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well. With new savings during our grand opening sale. Kia on Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Kia on Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Get more Gators with Dan Hickett and me, Frank Frangie, on all things Gators on 1010XL Gators Podcast. With new episodes every Monday, brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Is your roof ready for hurricane season? When storms hit, you need more than just a roof. You need trust. Valor Roofing Company is veteran-owned and operated, serving all of Florida with integrity and quality craftsmanship. From minor repairs to full replacements, they'll treat your home like it's their own. Estimates are always free, and veterans receive a special discount on all roofing services. Visit ValorRoofingCo.com and protect your home with people who care. GAF certified license CCC 1334864.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do-it-yourself dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No, no, no. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
Hey, Hickett here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry-fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Beaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
Pacifico, discovered by accident.
Yeah, the story goes, a group of friends went down to Mexico looking for some legendary waves. They never found them. But what they did find was something even better. An unforgettable Mexican lager.
Where'd you hear that?
Tell your next great story with a friend and a delicious Pacifico Mexican lager.
Pacifico, find your own way.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
20 minutes after the 2 o'clock hour, hanging out, having a fun time on a steamy, but still beautiful Thursday right here on the First Coast. Had a good time last night at the Golf Club of Southampton. And we were definitely talking about everything that's going on with the Jags as they get ready for training camp. And we still got to work some college football in because that was a big topic last night about whether or not they're going to get their committee to figure out what this playoff format looks like. But I do have to give a round of applause for Supa. He's Supa. He has now crossed the 100-pound threshold of Awaken 180. Supa? He's the superintendent of golf out there. Supa. And 100-plus pounds. So he's just like Hacker. And he said he was trying to get back to his fighting weight as a Marine. And now he's even past it. So
wow.
Extraordinary.
Good for him, man.
Excellent. I love it. And we've had several, like Fast Eddie and a handful of others that have done Awaken 180 that are out there dropping LBs that come out to the 9 after 5. So definitely cool. All right. So let's set it up one more time, Big Sirs. And then you guys with our XLP Big Three, all you got to do is just fire off a text. And like we said, what you want versus what you're willing to bet on. You can play it any way you want, but give them the 3 scenarios.
All right, here we go. All right, BTJ, 75 receptions, 1,350 yards, 10 touchdowns. Jaguars, 12-4 division champs, number 2 seed. Travis Hunter, 5 interceptions, 2 return for touchdowns.
Now, Matt, you view what as the most difficult to do? Because you said that 2-pick 5, or excuse me.
The second part with 12 wins in the 2 seed.
Yeah, that's the hardest, okay? There's no doubt in my mind.
That's not even reality. That's pie in the sky.
But that's what people would be, that's what they would want more than anything else. It may not be what they're willing to put their money on because of it being the most unlikely of the 3.
Well, yeah, the San Diego Chargers were 4-13 one year. Harbaugh comes in and they go, what?
Yeah, they turn it right around. They make it to the postseason. Now, they didn't perform the way they were hoping the postseason.
They got smoked. They got smoked like a pack of coos, but they made the playoffs.
Yeah. And so that's pretty good. So where are you leaning as far as what you would be willing to put your money on?
I would put my money on BTJ because he's probably, like Matt said, he is the best player on the team. And he's the most consistent player on the team. And everybody thinks that, I don't think there's going to be a sophomore slump. I think that they're going to, teams eventually, defense coordinators figure you out, like they figure out quarterbacks, they figure out wide receivers. But I think this kid's just too talented. Yeah. So if I was to put my money on something, it'd probably be BTJ with those kind of stats.
Okay, then you fall into the trap of, well, dang, I'm basically an even money odd. It's if he gets to 10 touchdowns, would you say 10 touchdowns?
10 touchdowns.
Okay, that's the one that's
yeah.
That's a lot. That means Trevor is starting to turn up the wick a little bit. Yeah. Finding the end zone. They're scoring more points, all that type of stuff. So you might still get that as a maybe a plus 200, maybe plus 250, something like that.
Well, the betting odds is that at 250.
Okay.
The betting odds for the Jaguars going 12-4. And the number 2 seed is plus 3,500.
Yeah.
And then,
Hard Rock Bet would be looking at that one and studying whether they want to put that in as plus.
And then Travis Hunter, 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions and 2 returns. It's like plus 750.
Okay. All right. So you guys let us know. Most reasonable, one you're willing to bet on, one that you would love to see happen. Any way you want to go about it, you definitely could do that.
I think it's interesting that when we hear that, we think the Travis Hunter, wow, 2 picks for a touchdown. That's quote unquote out of reach. We're just ignoring the fact that 5 interceptions. That's also not easy.
No.
Tyson Campbell, who, when he's healthy, could be one of the best corners, 10, 12 best corners in the league. He has 6 career interceptions.
Well, he's had one in the last 2 years.
Right.
Now, he's been hurt both of those years, but he's only had one. And so that, yeah.
If you get 5 in one season, you're doing something right.
Yeah, man, you're a dream killer. It was
I'm not dreaming. No, what I'm saying is if you get 5 in one season.
Yeah, I know that.
So you're saying
it's a tall task.
Yeah.
But what do we say about Travis Hunter? In order to justify the pick that we made, he's got to excel on both sides of the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 5 is a reach. I don't necessarily
That would be good enough for 6th in the NFL last year.
5 interception. Yeah.
Leader had 9.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that, I mean, if he doesn't he's got to be impactful on both sides of the ball in some capacity.
Yeah. That's what they're looking for. That's what makes him.
Not sure the numbers. I went over a little deep into the pool with the numbers, but if he's making impactful plays on defense where he's stopping 3rd and longs or 3rd and shorts in the red zone or batting balls down,
right?
I mean, I can live with that.
There was actually a guy who did have 2 pick sixes last year, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah, Van Ginkel from Minnesota.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's their Dewey. Okay, and
he certainly looks
he is
like
their
it.
Dewey. That's exactly what he is. Yeah,
and he's active as all hell.
Yeah, he only had 2 picks, and they were both touchdowns.
Yeah, and he definitely has that instinctual extra little DNA in him.
Like Dewey.
Attack, yeah. And Dewey's baited Trev a few times in training camp, that's for sure.
Wow, Deron Bland the year before, do you remember?
He had a
5 pick sixes.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Every time he turned around, he was...
Was that the dude from Dallas?
Yes.
Yes.
Could go ball.
And then there was 2 other guys that year, 2023, who had 2,
Baltimore?
Jack Jones and Kenny Moore. So it's not crazy unlikely as I thought it was.
And so this is what it boils down to. Let's just imagine, okay, if you want to picture this defense turning up the wick a little bit, if Tyson Campbell, and Anthony Campanile's sky high on him right now, and so is Liam Cohen, if he is to, the one thing I really like about what Liam said about Campbell is that he's working with his hands, he's getting more active with his hands at the line of scrimmage, working with the receiver, and then obviously when it comes to attacking the football, if he can do some things on one side, what does that do? Forces quarterbacks to look the other way. And then Travis Hunter may be able to take some profit off of that. So that's kind of what you're thinking, what you're visualizing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that 12-5 record, though, that's...
Yeah, I'm dreaming. It's June.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. When you think about the number of teams this team, or number of playoff teams that this team has to face, that would be a hell of an uphill. We're talking an 8-game improvement. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it could happen.
Also, a texter's pointing out that you can't go 12-4 anymore.
Yeah, 12-5.
5.
Yeah, 12-5. That's old school, Leon. Stay in your...
Yeah, exactly.
12-4-1. There was a tie.
Yeah. And listen, the game we're playing is that 12 win, first in the AFC South, number 2 seed in the division. We were looking back last year. What was it? KC was a 15-win team, number 1 seed.
Correct.
What was the second seed?
13.
13. Okay.
But the year before would have been good enough for second.
Yeah. So. Okay. All right. And that's what you're thinking about. And we talked about this yesterday. Can KC take a step back? 15 wins, and that roster just slowly is just growing a little older. A few defections, either free agent signing somewhere else or whatever. The Toonies that are gone, the Kelseys that are a little bit older, all those things. It could happen.
No.
It could happen.
It's odd though. I don't know how this works, but they seem to draft really well every year.
They handle that part of it pretty well. I will do this exercise. Maybe someone, an XL Primetimer, will be willing to help. But I'm starting to go through the Prisco Top 100, and I'll probably go through the NFL.com Top 100. But find the guys that have made it in the Top 100 and where they were drafted and where Jacksonville, if they selected the same position or whatever after that particular guy was drafted. And so it's a little bit of a homework assignment for me, but I like taking a look at that because those are those other front offices that are kicking tail. The Diabis down in Tampa, Nick, trying to think, the linebacker for Denver, Valenko, I'm trying to think of his last name. Anyway, another really, really good player that Jacksonville had a chance to get their hands on. They didn't get him. And so between Yaya and those guys.
Nick Bolton?
No, this is another one. I'll find
Nick
him.
Bonito?
He was, there you go. Yeah. Denver, yeah. Very good player. And I want to say he might have been a third rounder. But those are the types of guys that have cracked the top 100. Meanwhile, this franchise, unfortunately, with back-to-back number one overall picks, not in the top 100. So, different deal. That's for sure. All right, so it's worth getting into as far as we go along today. Now, I got to get this off the text line because we did bring up whoopings back in the day. High tide on the South Side. I took more than my share of whoopings when I was a kid. In retrospect, it probably wasn't enough. And that could be true. You probably learned some valuable lessons. But yeah, you said, you know what? Did I turn out okay? Yeah, I turned out okay, at least for the most part. But it doesn't mean you couldn't have absorbed one or two more. That's for sure. All right, here's another one. Danny, he said the reason the nuns were so mean, they just didn't have the full life that most of us have. I'm just paraphrasing that for you, Danny. But they did. They did exact some revenge on us youngsters that were bad, misbehaving.
Yeah, they were taking that out on another way.
Are you saying their vow? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
They're taking it out?
Yeah, we're trying to clean it up for Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but we probably deserved it. We were definitely crazy.
Come on,
that's for sure. All right, so when we take a look at that record, that's the most unreasonable one to get to, but that's going to draw the highest odds. So let us know what you think about that. All right, Matt, as we set up the next seg, talking about the fact that once again, here we are at the discussion table as to whether or not we're going to figure out the college football playoff when it comes to not this season to finish, but the season going forward.
The new contract, right.
Yeah,
Starts
when the new contract comes up in 2026. And here we are again, once again, with the leaders, the powers that be, trying to figure out what's going on. They had closed-door meetings this week at the Biltmore, which I just went to see. And if you have closed-door meetings, if you say, hey, I want you to close every door in the Biltmore, you got to close like 500 doors, okay? That's a big
First off,
place.
where these guys meet all the time,
oh, yeah.
It's unreal.
What's the tab on that one?
It's, oh, my gosh. It's unreal where they meet. The money they spend on these hotels.
Just so they can talk about stuff where they don't.
So they can argue and not get anything done.
Right, where they don't arrive at a conclusion.
Want to have a great dinner?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Biltmore's impressive.
So it's not even now. It's not even about like the SEC and the Big Ten against everybody else. Now it's literally the SEC against the Big Ten, because the Big Ten wants the 4-4-2-2
7-8-9
model.
Yeah,
they want that model, right? Where they each get 4 automatic qualifiers. Where the SEC now wants, after they talk to their coaches, they now want the 5-11 model, which is 5 conference champions, the 4 Power Fours, and then the 1 highest ranked Group of 5, Group of 6 now.
And then you're
conference champion, and then the rest are at large.
Yeah, which most people agree.
Now the Big Ten said they're not doing anything like that, okay, unless the SEC and the ACC have 9-game conference schedules, like everyone else,
right?
Like the Big 12 and the Big 10 do.
And they don't need it.
They're not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
And then the SEC said, all right, well, then we're not doing the 4-4-2-1. So now they're at an impasse.
Yeah. All right.
And they have till December 1 to get it straight.
Wait, so these besties in the Big Ten and the SEC are fighting right now?
Right.
Yeah. Once they'll just keep moving around, strange bedfellows, whoever they can find to agree with them. That's who they'll. We'll lay it out for you coming up here in just a second, and then a little more college football talk that we'll throw at you. The best coaching hire in the 21st century among college coaches out there. So start thinking about that. We'll do it coming up on XL Primetime.
Can you imagine a life without 1010XL?
No, please, no, no, no!
Fortunately, you don't have to.
Woo, woo, woo!
1010XL, part of your life.
Problem solved. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Jacksonville, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway for all your outdoor living needs. Let them show you how a durable paver driveway can enhance your home. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
I'm Drew Scrimshire, president and publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal. In business, timing is everything. That's why every morning at 8:15, our morning edition delivers the most important business news straight to the inboxes of Jacksonville's decision makers, executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and industry leaders. Want to know what the First Coast power players are reading before they start their day? Join them. Subscribe today to the Jacksonville Business Journal Morning Edition at bizjournals.com/Jacksonville.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 19, 2016, the Cleveland Cavaliers win their first title after beating the Golden State Warriors in Game 7, the first team to overcome a 3-1 deficit.
Play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Send your favorite person a sweet summer surprise today from Kuhn Flowers, creating memories for over 70 years. I'm RJ, and it's just so easy. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com, Jacksonville, and Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the college football playoff.
Well, I did love J.J. Spahn cracking a cold Modelo when he had that U.S. Open trophy in his hands. That was pretty sweet.
Heart of a champion.
Exactly. And they did it. They tweeted out mark of a fighter, and it was just beautiful. All right, so the official beer of the college football playoff. Let's at least get into what we think it might look like, because I don't know why they can't be satisfied. Okay, this is an old GF that you did whatever, and it just never satisfied. Okay, and so you're just constantly trying to figure out why can't. This is why we can't have nice things. You've got a 12-team playoff, and now you want to increase it. It took you forever to go from 4 to 12. Now you want to change it every single year. Now you're trying to get rid of this and trying to add in that. And I really don't know what we're going to get to. But the essence of this, at least as I see it, Matt, and Big Search, you guys, I know we all have been talking about it. Is it just a simple idea of the other ones want to see the SEC schedule 9 games inside their conference? Or is it the SEC flexing saying we want as many at-large bids as possible so we can have as many of our teams get in this postseason?
So I think the SEC feels like with 5-11, they can get more teams in.
Naturally.
Than
makes all the sense in the world, right? You agree with that? Yeah.
I think that's number one. Number two, I think the Big Ten looks at it like, all right, we'll take the 4. That's good. And we got a chance to get one of those extras at the end. 3 extra. Well, it's if Notre Dame doesn't qualify, it's 3 extra. All right. So they're like, all right, we got a chance for that. They see it that way. But they're not going to go where 11 at large, where it's clear the SEC is going to have the advantage in that moment, unless the SEC plays 9 games. Because if the SEC plays 9 conference games,
potential for another loss.
Then there's potential for another loss, and then they don't have the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's some negotiating going on right now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's the 2 heavyweights that are going at it, and the other guys are just sitting back and watching.
Well, you know, it's interesting to me that all these guys make these decisions on playing any kind of football. I'm not playing the game, and that's why the players' representation should be involved, because they're the guys that are going to be playing the games.
Yeah, I don't. You know, that day might be not that far away when they do have some kind of player, whatever, advisor or whatever that's part of the committee. But it's just
called a CBA.
Yeah, but it's true. It'll happen when that happens.
All these guys making these decisions, they not playing. They not getting down there one snap.
No.
But they're the benefactors of all the money that's being poured in.
Yeah, they're the bankers on this deal, and so they're the ones who are looking at all the finances of it. But honestly, isn't it a little comical when you say, "Hey, the other conferences want to see that conference play more of head to head, just so they could potentially suffer another loss and help us get in."
And the ACC. Not just the SEC,
right.
the ACC too,
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to get to. You're trying to create as many good games. If that's what you're doing, I probably would be a fan of it, because you're trying to create as many good games Saturday to Saturday to Saturday that you'd have in the fall, which would be awesome. But at the same time, we make fun of the Long Island universities landing on schedules and the East Texas A&Ms landing on schedules. If they do play a 12-game schedule and 8 of them are against other rivals in the conference and 1 is against either an in-state rival that's out of the conference or a border battle, whatever it is, a couple of layups isn't the worst thing just to fill out your home schedule.
No, I think what's going to happen is they're going to go with the 4-4-2-2-1 model, because I don't think the SEC wants to get pushed into that 9-game schedule, because there are numerous teams that are concerned about, all right, obviously the 4 teams we talk about all the time,
right?
Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky.
They have the rivalries.
Have the guaranteed rivalry games that are against power conference teams, which and if they add the annual series against the Big Ten, which they're talking about in the regular season, then you're looking at 11 of the 12 regular season games are going to be against Power 4 teams. So my guess is that the SEC is probably going to acquiesce and say, all right, we'll go with the 4-4-2-1, but we are not going to 9 conference games.
Right. And potentially, how many do they still get in there? That would potentially 6. Is that right?
If they go to the 4,
that would be the most.
Well, the most they could get is 7, because they could get all 3 of those. If Notre Dame doesn't qualify,
there you go.
The most they could get is 7.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking 6, but that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, and so
how exciting is that, folks?
Yeah,
7 SEC teams in the playoff.
It's
cool.
Yeah, it's not. And here's
glad we did this.
Yeah, here's what hurt their argument: the Tennessee's getting mollywopped in Columbus and CBUS against Ohio State.
Yeah,
and not looking the part. Yeah. And obviously Georgia against Notre Dame, they didn't have their starting quarterback. I totally get that, but that's what they were looking for, representation, and a couple of other teams that they thought was going to get into the college football playoff not getting in didn't help their argument either.
And quite frankly, Texas, was a blown call away from losing to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great comeback from Arizona
State. What's the 7th best SEC team's record? It's 4 losses.
It's a 3 loss.
Is it 3?
Dude, I think the 7th best team in the SEC last year was Florida.
That's what I'm saying. This is going to – whatever.
It doesn't. Look, and we're talking one thing, JJ. We're talking the max, okay? And if the other ones hold up their end of the bargain, if the ACC can produce a couple of quality teams.
No, it's Texas A&M. I'm wrong.
Is it A&M?
They had 4 losses.
Yeah.
They had 5 losses after the bowl game, 4 after the regular season.
4, 4. Before the college, when they made the selection, they were a 4-loss team. But you have to have the ACC step up. They got 2 teams in there last year. They got to get 2 more in.
But my point is just it's too many teams as a playoff.
Period.
In general. Yeah. And I've been saying that for 5 years.
I get it. And it didn't shine like some people hoped it would.
With 12.
With 12.
It wasn't fun.
There were already big point spreads and sizable defeats.
Well, I think why it didn't quote unquote shine it's because Oregon laid an egg in the Rose Bowl. That hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody thought the Oregon-Ohio State game was going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Oregon couldn't do anything.
Right.
And they played a hot team, and Oregon's quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, didn't play well, and they struggled.
Yeah.
That was what I think hurt more than anything.
And Tennessee laid an egg.
Yeah, but I think if the Oregon-Ohio State one was the big one. That was the one. Because if you really look at the Penn State-Boise State game was fun for 3.5 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
The Penn State-Notre Dame game was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good.
So the Texas-Ohio State game was fantastic, even though Arizona State-Texas game. So there were good games, but I think the one that really hurt it was the Rose Bowl, and because it's the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Ohio State got hosed. I mean, they had the toughest schedule to get to the championship.
They did.
But they didn't flinch.
No.
They didn't flinch at all.
Yeah.
And Oregon had the task of taking in Ohio State the first round, which they got hosed for sure.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Ohio State lost their last game of the season.
Yeah, Oregon probably should have played Boise State.
Yeah, and had lost
But
to
that's-
Oregon previously.
That's why they got rid of the guaranteed buys. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so, they're tinkering with it, and I guess I'm not against that part of it, but I still look at it and
It's
go,
also only one season. You guys don't jump off the boat yet.
Right.
It's just one season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, we're very reactive creatures of the moment.
Yes, we are.
In this
Yeah,
world
of
right
course
now.
we are.
yes, we
I just
are.
Push button society.
I thought it was interesting when we got the ratings back, and they sucked.
Yeah. Well,
And
especially when you have,
I didn't want to be the I was right guy, but hey. we're
whenever
here.
you don't want to be it, you say it, then you are.
I was joking. I obviously
Exactly.
want to be the I was right guy. But like, the what we were all saying, what you guys were all saying for years about like the excitement that's going to come with this playoffs, and it didn't.
See,
It
I
wasn't.
believe
It did, but the problem is
didn't.
the NFL was playing on the same day.
And it's still going to be like that.
It's
no,
always-
it's not going to be like that in the future because
Even if it's not the same day, it's still during the NFL.
Yeah, it's
and
still
the season went on
behemoth.
so freaking long, man. And it's just,
Anytime you give me more ball, I'm for it.
Yeah, and
I
I
take
say
on more ball anyway.
I say it
play
worked.
year round then.
I say it worked all the way up until you saw bad ball, which is what I feared more than anything else, was that there were already beatdowns in the Final Four when you just go back to 4 teams. And that's what I feared most. But as far as the regular season was concerned, I was all
How's that any different from the college basketball? You're going to get the big.
Exactly.
They're going to be beat down.
there really only was
sport that
one
people-
beatdown. It was only the Tennessee-Ohio State game was really the only beatdown.
Yeah, and then thankfully you had
Penn State's SMU was, I mean, kind of, I guess.
it
but
was. It was.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It
All right,
was.
I'll give you that. So 2 of the games were beatdowns.
Yeah. And
Well, guess what,
then
Joe?
Arizona State firing back was great because for a minute there it was not.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get over it because you said in 2 years, a year from now, it's going to be 16.
Yeah.
16.
Which is just
And
nuts.
then 2 years after that, it'll be 64.
It'll be
Leon.
20.
And then they'll be playing basketball and football.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is
I mean, the FCS is at 24 now. That's their playoff now, 24.
okay. When did they
They
move
moved
up?
to 24 like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's worked for them because they've at least been through the tried and true.
But they also only play 10, I think, regular season games.
and then their playoffs
And then
start.
the playoffs start.
Before
Boom.
Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, right away.
No layoff.
Next week, man. Let's
Yeah.
get into it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do too. I love those Montana playoff games. Love them.
And so the one thing that could be at risk, and I'm all into tradition, and I love, we're only going back to the 90s, but I still love Championship Saturday. But if you want to keep this bad boy going and you want to make sure that you keep the fever pitch of fandom up, you need to get rid of Championship Saturday and get, as soon as the season stops, you go right into it. I know they will never get rid of it.
I'm going to dump that.
Yeah. I know that. I love it.
I just, what's happening
we might
in our
just like
sport?
all complete start to ignore you for the next 10 minutes.
I
after that
told
one.
you.
But he's right. They're going to do that.
No, they're not.
They-
no, they're not. They're going to highlight. It's what they're going to. They're going to keep it, and then they're going to do playing games, and it'll be literally a playing week.
How exciting is that?
Championship week will become a playing week.
All right, so you're telling me you're going to surround.
If they go with the 4-4-2-1 model,
you're going to surround the Power Four.
I don't think there's any question that what will eventually happen is you'll have like the championship game, the SEC and the Big Ten championship game, and then those two conferences, because they have 4 automatic qualifiers, their next 6 teams will then play off for the next 3 spots.
So now you're playing 13 games.
Yeah, you're going from basically
close to half the conference.
You're going from basically 4 games that mean anything on championship week to, my God, you'll have 12. And if the ACC does it too, you'll have as many as in the Big 12, as many as 16 in 1 week. They'll play them like on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, at every window.
You in for that?
It's just more degrading of the regular season, man.
Why is it That's not degrading at all.
It is, because you can lose a million freaking games and still end up with a chance to go to the Natty,
right,
dude.
But
and
you can also
like,
win your way in, too.
Listen, I like college football when losses mattered. And they don't anymore.
They still matter.
No, they don't.
matter.
Ohio State won the national championship after losing.
Did Ole Miss's
to
loss
Michigan,
to Florida? Did that matter?
To Oregon. Like, what'd you say?
Did Ole Miss's loss to Florida matter?
Well, yeah, it knocked them out.
My point is, in the college football I love, they wouldn't have even had a chance even before that Florida game. They lost to Kentucky at home. Get out of my face.
Did Miami's loss
to
Syracuse matter?
It shouldn't have. Like, because they lost to Georgia Tech. Like, listen, man, I liked it better the way it was. And I feel like a lot of people did too. Most people.
I don't think there's any question some people liked it better. All I'm saying is November now is more interesting because there's more games of impact. There's more games that can get teams into a playoff. That's what they were wanting.
Yeah, it keeps the fan bases
So it's
alive.
increased the regular season. Yeah. The appetite for the regular season.
I'll never agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But JJ goes Gran Torino on us, which is fine.
I'm just saying, like, losses to me are more important than that. Like, I liked when your whole season just came to an end because you lost to Kentucky at home. Like, that to me is why it used to be the best regular season of any sport.
Yeah, they wanted to make it the best postseason of any sport. They haven't hit that yet. They haven't cracked that egg just yet. They're trying, but they haven't done it yet. Because you can always say we had great regular seasons, but the postseason sucked. It really did,
right,
in a lot of people's minds.
Well, with the new model now, a team 13-5 can win the national championship.
Yeah, and I'm all for it if you get hot at the right time.
Yeah, all right. The Giants won the Super Bowl when they were 9-7.
Yeah, we have the NFL.
Yeah, but and look, we all know where they're creeping. They're creeping towards you're getting
right.
paid.
I got news for you, bro. This is kind of the NFL right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that.
But they're basically
I
saying
love college football.
That barn door was
What
open
don't
about
you
4
get
years
about
ago
that?
when they cobbled NIL and free player movement together, and then that ended.
Let's make this the 10-10 tape because this is honestly the engine that to Matt's point started a long time ago.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since 68.
A delicious plate of ribs, chicken, turkey, brisket, pork, hot links, whatever it might be, waiting for you at any one of your area. Sonny's, drop on by and enjoy some. Yeah, there were those many, many memorable seasons when you knew when you lost that one, it was done. I'm looking at Leon, and Leon knows exactly what we're talking about because he knows, he lived it. But once they got to the NIL, once they started talking about pay for play, they said, you know what? If we're going to pay for the play, we're going to get as much play as we possibly can for the amount we're paying. And that's what it's come down to. It's all about money. Unfortunately, the fans get wrecked in this situation, and I'm among them. But as long as they're saying, hey, we're going to start paying freight for all the fall ball that we enjoy, we're going to add a few more games, and we're going to collect a few more checks. And that's what it boils down to now.
It's not fall ball. If you want to blame anyone, it's blame players. The players getting paid started this whole thing.
Well, it basically led to now we've got to play more games to get more checks.
Get more revenue, yeah.
And television's all about it, of course, because they want as much live programming as they can. And so, believe me, it's the thing that I always talk about, the collateral damage and
the unintended consequences.
Yeah, and the fans getting it more than anything else in the shorts. And I love the idea of finding a player that you can root for multiple years instead of one and done.
Yeah.
In the multi-technicolor dream coat, Letterman's jacket. But that's where we are.
But I'm sure JJ and Leon were happy with Cam Ward for a year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
Dude, I've said this 1,000
They'll be
times.
happy with Carson Beck for a
I've
year,
said this
too.
1,000 times. I would trade Cam Ward not playing for Miami for college football to go back to the way it was. I'm a college football fan. Like I like that we had a great quarterback for a year, but I really hate where the sport is right now. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't.
And it's a different one and done. And now even basketball is getting back to where you might have guys stick around a little while. You're still not going to get Cooper Flagg to stick around.
Because there's less guys that can get to the NBA than they can get to the NFL.
Maybe. All right, real quick before, go ahead.
I was going to say my championship rings will never have 5 losses on them. undefeated, 11-1.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It is. And rare is rare,
Stay
my
in your
brother.
era, though.
Stay in your era, Leon. Stay in
You
your
don't
era.
understand. It's
Exactly.
money, and we can't pay the players.
Right, but you can say 5 losses, but there's only been one team with 2 losses win the national title.
Dude, we just started the 12-teamer last
and I don't
year.
know how,
Give it time.
and I don't know how long I'm saying. LSU in 2007 was the last two-loss team to win since.
And they were fortunate as all get out to get there.
I mean, forever, actually.
Because great teams don't lose more than 2 times.
And we probably won't have a natty champion with more than 3 losses, I wouldn't think.
Not more than 3.
not.
You might have a 3.
You might.
I actually think if Ole Miss got in there last year, they'd have done some damage. They might have done some damage.
SEC's won every hypothetical game of all time.
Yeah, Lane's winning a bunch of those.
Jeez.
All right, real quick. My mom, this is going back to...
Or South Kakalaki. You never know, man.
Yeah.
With Lenore Sellers.
Yeah. This is going back to...
The $8 million man.
We started with Adrian Peterson not being able to handle his business at a poker game, which led us to getting that capital punishment back when we were kids. This one texter says, my mom handwrote a letter to Leon Barrett at Lee High School, giving him permission to, quote, rearrange my mindset as needed.
Leon Barrett was a bad man.
That is beautiful. It is XL Primetime.
Bring in the heat. Your summer station. 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Mia here, and why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus right now, save big with 0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2023 Toyota Corolla. Or how about no payments till January 2026 and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins DUI Defense Firm and Monahan Jewelers on 1010XL.
Mia here for Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet, and you know how much I love it. My family is obsessed. With summer here, why not finally create that custom garage workspace you and your dad want? Think tool storage, workbenches, a place for everything to go. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes all you guys. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. ClosetsByDesign.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the first place Steamwheelers. Catch all the action this Saturday, June 21st at 7. Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. Try the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. Come cheer on the Sharks as they circle a playoff bid. It's Star Wars night presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Dress up in your favorite costume. Get photos with your favorite Star Wars characters before the game. The first 1,000 kids get a free lightsaber. Join us on the field after the game for a free autograph session and special jersey auction. Tickets start at just $15. Call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Lone Pronto. Some big-time Major League Baseball news. Dreamfinders Homes founder and CEO and Jacksonville native Patrick Zalupski has placed a bid to purchase the Tampa Bay Rays from the team's principal owner, Stuart Sternberg, for a price of $1.7 billion. Sternberg purchased the Rays in 2004 for $200 million. The deal is not yet in agreement, but is most definitely something to keep an eye on in the near future. More dominoes are falling in the Gators' 2026 recruiting class, with the most recent commitment coming from 4-star cornerback C.J. Brono. Brono decommitted from Matt Rule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers on Tuesday, then just a day later committed to Coach Napier and the Gators. Brono says his relationship with first-year cornerbacks coach Darren Wilson was a big reason for his commitment. It's 93 degrees at 3:01. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
Hernandez, you can see him there in the foreground. He is the winning run. He does get one to hit. It's off the glove of the second baseman, and here comes Hernandez. LSU is on to the finals. They pitched to Jones, and it bounced off the glove of Cam Kojal, and the Tigers are going back to the finals.
Tears in his eyes, I guess. There was some crying on that field last night. Arkansas.
The Omahogs, yeah.
The what?
They call them the Omahogs.
Yeah, well.
They just can't get there, man. Remember when they were one pitch away and the dude dropped the pop-up foul ball? They were literally one pitch away, man, from winning it all.
I'm not even sure what you're talking about. Okay, I'm thinking
Arkansas.
I know, but
in the College World Series, they've had the most difficult outs ever.
Yeah,
they've been gut punched so many times.
Yeah, I didn't remember that one. I was just thinking about last night, and then you shook me. I'm like, wait a minute. Now you took me somewhere else. So I'm like,
sorry.
Wait a minute.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Omahogs. Omahogs
Yeah,
is what he was saying.
So they did get wrecked last night. There's no doubt about it. But it was so funny because it was it was so back and forth. Advantage LSU, advantage Arkansas. 3-3 game in the ninth. They make it 5-3. It looks like they're in control. Then LSU comes back, but there were two major blunders, and it takes you back when you're trying to make a great play and you misplay the ball. It bounced off the shoulder of the left fielder, which is something you just never would expect. Then instead of trying to turn a double play, a 1 out to not end the inning at third base instead of trying to go for the double play. Bottom line is the other one gets right off the top of the glove for the second baseman, and LSU wins it. And LSU, who is it, number 22, had an unbelievable game and night. But there you go. They lit it up last night. LSU did, and that's for sure. American Electrical, if you want to light up your career and you're in the electrical world, if you want to take a look, residential or commercial, how you can soup things up, make sure you check out American-Electrical.com. Powered by professionalism. So, yeah, it was a gut wrencher for Arkansas. And I'm sure there are plenty of them when you talk about teams that have been heartbroken in Omaha, FSU leading the polls in that one over time when you think about how many times they got there and never have been able to win a national championship. But now Coastal Carolina, still unbeaten. I told you guys heading in that they were unbeaten. They're 25-0, 26-0 at the end of the season and red hot. Haven't lost a game in the postseason and a chance maybe to win this championship bracket against LSU. I don't know who I like. I haven't paid that much attention to it, but we'll find out whether or not they can get it done.
So they last won in 2016, if you remember that.
So they have a chance to,
in the championship series,
within basically a decade, to win 2 national titles in college baseball.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Game 1 is Saturday.
Saturday they play?
7 o'clock, Espen.
Yeah. Okay. It was good last night. Came home from Southampton, dug in and watched a little bit of it, and it was awesome. But that's college baseball in a nutshell. Every single time you think you got something locked up, boom, the aluminum bat and a bad pitch. Yeah.
Terrible fielding.
Yeah. And that's it. It was all present last night, one way or another. But there were definitely tears. And this was a tough one. And I think, Leon, when you think of, and like you clearly stated earlier, you didn't lose too often. And I think you've said before, losses haunt you more than wins make you smile.
Absolutely, yes.
But that's a heartbreaker to walk for a season to end like that. You haven't experienced too many of those.
No, but I've been a part of a lot of heartbreak. The Super Bowl was.
Well, I'm talking. I was going back in college.
Yeah, college. Lost to BYU first game of the season, preseason number 1. That was a heartbreaker.
That was back when your season was over, week 1.
Exactly, that part. Exactly. Ty
Going back to our last conversation.
Ty Detman won the Heisman off of that game. Yeah. But it's as much as I won at Miami, I remember the losses so distinctly. I remember I was just sitting on the bench, just saying to myself, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to walk in the locker room. The plane ride, I'm telling you, the plane ride was like Sunday service. Just quiet. No one's saying nothing.
You ever cried?
I never cried. No, I never cried after a loss. I cried after a win.
Super Bowl, did you? I thought you said you almost did the Super Bowl.
No, I was too mad to cry at the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboy confetti was on me, and I was knocking it off. Man, get this crap off of me, man. It was terrible.
That would hurt.
I thought there was one of those games where, don't you write in the book of one of those games? Was it the Titans game here?
No, I didn't cry. I wanted to fight after that game. Anybody. Titans. Anybody in the Titans game.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking anybody, including maybe 1 or 2 in your locker room.
Oh, yeah. But you, as a player, you remember the losses more distinctly than the wins. Yeah.
I was having a conversation with the great Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs last night when we were finishing up at Southampton. And he was going back in time talking about Neil O'Donnell. I said, don't you bring that name up in front of Leon. Don't you say his name.
But you can remember this though. In that game, when we lost the first game of the Titans at home when it was raining, O'Donnell was the quarterback that beat us that game.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was, because McNair was hurt, so Neil O'Donnell beat us that game.
Yeah, he was a Titan.
Yes, we did. We did. It was just pouring rain.
That must have been a gut punch for you.
Yeah, it was. That was the first time I had saw Neil since the Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
What'd you say to him?
I didn't say nothing. I was too mad we lost.
Yeah.
I shook his hand. He said, "What's up, sir?" And I said,
And so that was
still
one
looking
of
for my ring. That's what's up.
Exactly. My ring is at the pawn shop.
Yeah, I don't have one. But that was one of 3 that year. And he was I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. All right. Now, speaking of something else that we were just talking about, the college football playoff, this is a little of that associated with it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, they did not meet up at the Biltmore over plenty of scotch and whiskey and formalize the new playoff format. But according to Action McMurphy, our man Brett McMurphy, that they will now, during the college football playoff, have injury reports from every team going into these games. Now, you say, what's the big deal? That's not been going on at all in college football until last year. The SEC finally started putting injury reports out. And trust me on this, they were still as vague as could be. As vague as can be. They didn't help gamblers at all. But you still know what this comes down to. Action on games. And they want to make sure that they can have as much information as possible. The bettors do, any of us do. That's for sure. Anyway, he's basically saying SEC did it a year ago, and now every team in the college football playoff will have to provide injury reports.
How accurate are those reports going to be? Because
Lower body.
Yeah,
Upper
exactly.
body.
They're going to fluff them, bro. They're definitely going to fluff those reports.
Yeah,
not going to be detailed.
No, and you know what it'll be? What was it? General soreness, general discomfort.
Yeah.
And look, I get it, because we go back to the whole thing that we were just talking about. The engine is now money, and money drives and fuels all this stuff, whether we like it or not. And believe me, all the texters totally agree. I'd like to go back in time, but we can't and we won't, and they definitely aren't. But that's what it's all about right now. And it's just as much gambling as it is television, as it is just the whole visibility of the sport, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, look at every single commercial during a game.
Oh, yeah.
It's
and you,
all sports books.
And hey, remember when they said, oh, that'll never be part of our
Yeah. They used to not even want to discuss any gambling stuff on ESPN. Now they have ESPN Bet.
Yeah. Musburger might have been run out of ABC because he would mention betting lines.
Bro, Rick Newhouse got fired for gambling. Not even gambling. He was in a
bracket.
pool.
He was in a tournament pool.
An NCAA pool, and he got fired by Washington for
Which,
that.
everybody does that at your work.
It's comical. It really
for
is.
$20 or
and that's all he was doing.
Whatever. Yeah.
He probably told somebody else to fill it out, and he got fired over it. You don't think Rick Neuheisel leaned down and said, all right.
He was one of the highest paid coaches in college football then, too.
I'm picking a 12 over a 5. Let me look for it, right? I don't think he was doing that.
Because that was Spurrier's old joke. Yeah. Neuheisel never won a championship, and he was making almost as much as Spurrier.
Yeah.
And Spurrier said, Ricky, when are they going to pay you when you finally win some?
Yeah. They paid him well. There's plenty of guys that have been paid a bunch of late, that's for sure. All right, so when we talk about coaches, this is a good little segue, just as far as the best of the 21st century. And pull it up, Big, because we were talking about it. When you start thinking about who has had the best coaching hires of the 21st century, and you could think of the obvious ones now. And just a reminder that if you think of the 21st century, Nick came to Alabama in the 21st century. Obviously, Kirby Smart came to Georgia.
But Alabama getting Nick was much more difficult than Georgia getting Kirby.
Yeah, and Steve-O was already at Florida when the 21st century began, so he does not count. But there are plenty of other ones that would come up for good discussion as far as who you might rank best college coach hire in the 21st century.
I mean, I look at a couple. I look at Florida hiring Meyer.
Yeah,
they got him away from Notre Dame, which is a huge hire,
which is a huge pluck and a coup of sorts.
Yeah, and then Kirby obviously huge. Dabo at Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you're talking about it. That's a gamble on a guy that never been a coordinator.
Well, just a quick story. When Tommy Bowden steps away, Dabo's part of that staff. He ascends into that role as an interim.
Terry Phillips says, "All right, go take the team to the end of the season." They go, I think 5-4 or 4-3, something like that.
Yeah, nothing great.
Yeah,
nothing spectacular.
And quite frankly, the next year wasn't that good either.
Yeah.
So, but they stuck with him.
They put a flyer on him, and he ends up winning 2 championships over a 3-year period. Now everyone says, right now, hey, Clemson, where you been? I totally get it, but 2 natties in the 21st century for any name the schools that have 2 natties in the 21st century. There aren't too many of them.
It's not just the natties obviously are huge. Okay, there's no doubt about that.
Consistency though. is king.
What they've done under Dabo, just in 2023 was the only year when they won 9 games in 23.
Yeah.
Was the only year they hadn't had double-digit wins since 2010.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Every other year, double-digit wins.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, what he's done there's been remarkable, actually.
All right, who else you putting up there? Just as far as some of the other good ones that you would put up.
Did y'all say Pete Carroll?
Oh no, he definitely deserves it.
He's way up.
Yeah.
When did Pete? He would have been hired right
Pete's
around.
first year was 02, I believe.
And then by 04, they were winning a national championship.
03, the second year they won it.
Was it that fast that he did it?
Yeah.
Because they won 3, 4, and
Jim
5.
Tressel's another great one. His second year they won a national title at Ohio State.
Those are all good, and I think all of them have some kind of little.
Think about that. Think about that. Okay, that stupid memorabilia stuff at Ohio State cost him his job. He would have stayed there for another 10 years, and who knows what he could have done.
Yeah, he would have worn the sweater vest and the tie forever.
Oh my gosh!
But think of you can add that up. The Neuheisel. The worst was the whole thing with Ohio State, and just we're talking. I don't know how small the NIL was back then. That was illegal, but it wasn't huge.
It was tattoos.
It was tattoos and jewelry.
And trading memorabilia.
Yeah.
And by the way, Pete Carroll won in his third season.
Third season?
So 2001, he went 6-6. Then the year after, they won the conference title. They went 11-2, won the Orange Bowl. And then the next 2 years, they won Natties.
Yeah. So right there at the turn.
What about Whittingham?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one, actually.
Well, he did a great job.
But also not a difficult hire because he was there and they just elevated him.
Yeah.
You know?
But and they've won conference championships, but not.
Yeah, but for that program,
sure.
They moved to the power program, to the power level, and immediately started winning in the Pac-12.
Yeah, they're in the conversation now more than you ever would have imagined.
Yeah, well, they were undefeated with Herb. So it's not like they just came out of nowhere as some
right.
crap
But
program.
my point is they were in the Mountain West and they were playing Mountain West teams.
Okay,
and then
I'll
goes
give
to
you
the
that.
Pac, and they get to the Rose Bowl,
And they
all
were
that kind of stuff.
he also had an undefeated season at Utah. Kyle did. So yeah,
all right. There's a few other ones, and you can just again, it's up to interpretation. But whenever you start looking at it and you think of who has done what, you got to consider what was going on there before. Now, it's a great point that.
Would you throw Jimbo in there at Florida State?
Following Bobby, and Bobby won right there at the turn of the century. I don't think
Bobby was losing a lot.
Well, I know that.
again.
I know that, but. It's kind of like if you're going to give credit
29 straight, man.
Yeah, if you're going to give credit for Herb being hired, then you can certainly give credit to FSU for Jimbo because
What about
Herb,
Jimbo at Alabama or Texas A&M?
Yeah, that didn't quite work out as well.
What about Brian Kelly?
At Notre Dame,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah,
winningest
he would
coach
be
at
up
Notre
there.
Dame. Yeah, he's got to be up there.
And when you talk about teams that have been put on the map, and Herb did with the undefeated season with Utah, but then Whittingham definitely kept it going. And then you think of others. We're joking about Lane Kiffin, but Lane Kiffin now makes Ole Miss a part of the conversation, much more than they ever were. You can go back to David Cutcliffe, who did a decent job when he had Eli there. It was good, but not great. You can go to Hugh Freeze. It was good, but not great. Now it's consistent as all get out.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Mac Brown.
He was hired before.
He was before
Texas.
2000.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but but he's he's definitely a great hire. I mean, if you think about Ole Miss, they've won double-digit games in 3 of the last 4 years. Before that, they'd won double-digit games twice, seven times in the history of the school.
What about
In the history of the school?
In the history of the program, seven times.
That's so little. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. So
I just think you got to take out the ones that haven't won a national title. And like Brian Kelly, Notre Dame fans don't exactly love Brian Kelly, and they went to a natty like immediately after he left.
The thing that kills them a little bit is that they do love Marcus Freeman as much as they do now.
And they're just as good now as they were when he was there.
Yeah, I'm such a Freeman fan, but Kelly did build that.
He built it.
And then Freeman gets to
I mean, he's
not live off of it.
But if you don't win a national title at Notre Dame, I know he's the winningest coach in Notre Dame history, but he's not remembered as one of the greats.
They got to the playoff twice, right, with him?
Twice.
Lost to
BCS
Bama.
national championship game once, yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's not like and now, because of him, you could argue, and maybe even go back to Holtz a little bit, softening rules, allowing a few more players in, less requirements when it comes to GPA and all that kind of stuff. Those things just kind of were put in place over time.
I was much more of a Ron
I'll give you a couple
fan.
more. How about Harbaugh?
At Stanford?
He
Michigan. At
He
Michigan.
delivered. He delivered.
But I mean, if you're going by JJ, where you can only have a national championship, he fits that.
Yeah.
But there are others who didn't win national. David Shaw at Stanford was fantastic.
Yeah. Chris
for like
Peterson
6-7
at
years.
Washington.
Chris Peterson was
or
terrific
even
at Boise State and
to begin
Washington.
with.
Yeah.
And then another one I was thinking of, Chip Kelly. Where does he fall in the? Because Oregon wasn't Oregon.
Yeah.
Before him, it really wasn't. Or maybe Oregon
Mark
wasn't
D'Antonio
Oregon
at Michigan State
until Phil Knight.
They were running the Big Ten there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Under
D'Antonio was a good coach for Sparty.
Yeah.
He was. James Franklin returning Penn State.
We'll see. He's got a team this year.
Yeah.
What about
he got a team this year, man.
What about the Mad Hatter from LSU?
Yeah.
Well,
another good hire.
Yeah.
Won a natty, played for another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eats grass.
Hard to argue that.
Yeah. Eats grass.
Hard to argue that.
I like eating grass. You guys ever ate grass? I know you smoked it, but
honeysuckles, not
certainly
grass.
have.
Yeah.
We used to eat honey. Yeah, you ate honeysuckles too growing up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. No.
You
never did.
Oh man.
Were any of you guys like the kid in left field, like playing with the grass? Just totally zoned out.
Wait, I want to go back to the honeysuckles. You never ate honeysuckles growing up as a boy?
I don't believe so. Like I remember, like plucking and you'd chew on them.
and suck on them. Yeah.
Okay, you chew on them, but I didn't like think we ate them though.
Well, that's all Matt had to eat for like months at a time.
I don't mean eat. I mean like suck on them, chew on them.
Yeah, like TLD even has one of the I'm as poor as Matt stories where they would have to get off on the side of the road and pick dandelions, and they would make dandelion salad out of it. I've never heard of it, but that's what they did. And so when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute, I've never eaten a honey, but I would always pick that, just kind of chew on the bottom of that. Yeah, and then you take the grass and you could get the big whistle going.
I had no idea what the hell the honeysuckle was.
Really?
I had to pull it up. No, I never ate this.
It's pretty good, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a nice little.
It sounds like something you'd call like your girlfriend or something.
It's a nice little sweet jolt.
Come here, honeysuckle.
Yeah.
By the way, in the text line, somebody says Bob Stoops. Stoops was hired at OU at 99, so he does not
99,
count.
but he still built something in the 21st century.
Maybe he means the other Stoops at the program.
Yeah, Mr. Million, a win or loss. He's done pretty well in Bourbon Nation.
Done pretty well against Florida, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. Not recently, but he has. But Stoops did return Oklahoma to where it was under the rule of Barry Switzer.
Absolutely.
And there was a big gap. And anybody who, Boomer Sooner, there's plenty of you out there, you know how the low points were, how low they were when you had all sorts of either controversy, criminal action, bad stuff going on in Norman.
Bad football.
And bad ball. But between Barry
Gibbs
and
John
Bob.
Blake and just bad football.
Yeah.
And that's because you can get that other stuff isn't highlighted. It's only highlighted when the bad football arrives.
Well, yeah, with a once proud program for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And heck, I don't know where we are going, but you mentioned Mac Brown earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Texas was one of the great underachievers in a lot of ways for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Not like they weren't great way back then, but a period of time. And then Mac restored order, and then it fell off again. And we'll find out what Sarkisian is, if he's going to be good or is he going to be great.
I mean, if you want to stretch that into the late 90s to get Stoops in there, you may want to stretch it a little further and get Butch Davis in there.
Well, Butch.
Because what Butch did was stupendous.
Yeah, now, would you say, going back to Texas, Joe, you don't think Sark's like one of the top 5 guys right now?
Yeah, but it's just that I think he's done a tremendous job in a very short amount of time.
It's hard to argue against.
Yeah, very short amount of time. But then you got it, honestly, it's like we're talking about when you are going to graduate from good to great, don't you have to have a natty? And I kind of feel like you do. And so that's all I'm saying about Sark.
Do you think he's better than Lane?
Yeah, right now he's. Okay. But how about this?
Do you?
I don't know. I was going to say, how about this?
I don't know that he is, JJ. I don't know that he is.
If you're talking about disciples,
he's
of
at
Nick,
a top, like as far as money,
he has resources galore.
He has like what Lane could only dream about.
Like,
I agree. I'm just asking.
Not times 2, times 10 is what it feels like.
Oh, we got a great one on the text line.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
The mullet is done. But again,
that program used to be a complete dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was the butt end of a cow, of a steer. It was bad.
I mean, Mark Richt did a good job at Georgia. Never got him over the over the hump.
Right. He was a great hire.
Yeah.
But it's like we say great coach or great hire. He was a great
Won
hire.
the SEC, but just never never became the national power that it is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Kirby's done.
And it's funny, we always say it. When you win 75% of your games and everyone's looking at you like, we got to get somebody else, that's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. And he brought them to that level, elevated them to that level. And then they still, if you go back in time, you look at the timeline, I think Florida had one, maybe two coaches over the time that Mark Richt was there. And Georgia's they stayed with one coach. And I think Florida may have had, actually probably more than that.
Probably three, yeah.
Yeah. And yet he won his fair share of games, but he just couldn't win that big game in their minds, which is what it was.
Yeah.
That is what it boils down to. But there are plenty of other good ones. Like Chris, we were just talking about him earlier, just as far as the Boise State and Washington combination for Chris Peterson. He never won a championship in the championship setting that we go by, but he was a great coach.
Got Washington to playoff.
Yeah, he got him in the playoff. They got hammered.
Not really. They didn't get hammered by Alabama.
I kind of feel like they did. They didn't?
No, it was like 23-9 or something. It wasn't that bad at all.
That's a double-digit win.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Even High Tide would chip in on this. It wasn't that bad.
You agree with that?
It was a lot closer than the score indicated. I guess it's the best.
All right. You guys chime in on that. 641-1010. It is XL Primetime.
The home of Jaguars fans.
Follow every play, interview, and press conference.
Duval came out, supported us, and that's what we need.
1010XL, the home of Jaguars fans.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well. With new savings during our grand opening sale. Keon Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Keon Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barber here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barber Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarberOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barber Orthopedics.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
The road to the playoffs is paved by a strong off-season.
That is the game within the game.
Navigate the way with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
That's a beautiful thing.
AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Pick it here with a game winner. It's Checkmate Coatings. I've scouted them all. And this Jacksonville crew's the real deal.
I'm Brendan, owner of Checkmate Coatings. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Score big at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
What is 1010XL's Jeff Prosser's favorite movie? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Believe it or not, Jeff Prosser's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about being a godly example. Every day, we're setting an example in our words and actions. And many times, we can act one way in one setting and then totally different in another setting. My encouragement for you is to not send out mixed messages. God is depending on you to set the example in people's lives. You don't know, but you may be the only Bible that someone ever sees today.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, we were having a good time talking about the best coaching hires of the of the 21st century, last 25 years. But then that morphed into who are the worst coaching hires. That was even more fun during the break. So let's do that right now. It is XL Primetime. Big Sirs, Matty Hayes. Check out his stuff at USA Today Sports, Joe C, along with JJ. And we're definitely, it's one of those fun topics when you think about the good and the bad. And it's funny, Leon, because one of our texters, you were talking about how the losses obviously stick with you more than the wins. And one of our dudes did point out that when you go back in time and you think about what you've been through, it's easy to remember the losses when you only lost 3 times in 4 years. Okay, so maybe they do stick with you.
Good point.
Yeah, maybe they do. If the wins stack up, you don't remember them nearly as much.
Yeah, I can imagine if you played for Temple.
Yeah, you would have.
You would remember all the wins.
Yeah, I've been spoiled.
Yeah. All right. Worst coaching hires, just because we just sat there and talked about it during the break. Well, like first off, close to home, they immediately pop. You can definitely say Sharknado definitely
Willie
counts as
Taggart.
one of the worst hires ever.
Willie Taggart's got
how unlucky or how bad can you be at evaluating Saban assistants when you pick the worst one? And we just mentioned Sark, Kirby, Lane. You can go down the line with great Saban assistants that have thrived as head coaches. Florida picked McElwain.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, at my school, I would have to go. He's my former teammate, Randy Shannon.
Oh.
He was bad. And Al Golden.
Yeah, who's worse of those two?
It's a tie. They both
That's a slow race.
It is.
Yeah, that's painful right there.
Yeah,
Who I would pick in that? They were both bad. I don't know.
They
who
were
I would
both
pick.
bad, bro. Man.
Willie Taggart up in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
He's got to be number one for me. Out of everyone in the state over the last 25 years, that was a complete joke.
Such a mystery, too, how he did okay at South Florida, did decent at South Florida, did decent his 1 year at Oregon. And then people were fighting over
Hadn't
getting
gotten a
him.
job since. I think he's an assistant in the NFL still.
Well, he was at FAU, right?
I don't know
After
if he-
Florida
After,
State.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean like a job.
Aw,
That's
Lane
still-
coached there.
That's a job, man.
Yeah.
About the fighting owls down there.
It's not a job.
Wow.
Listen to Matt.
He's like, I think
the
he's like,
college
I think
football
he's like,
writer.
he's like a quarterbacks coach. Is he
I
with
don't
the
even know.
Ravens? I think he's with the Ravens right now.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Who else would? Who else?
He is with the Ravens?
Who else would go up there?
He is. He's the running backs coach.
Okay, running backs.
Now, Matt, you mentioned Scott Frost. Imagine bringing home a favorite son.
Gosh, that was a
And-
nightmare hire.
Yeah,
Nightmare hire.
And it's a mystery just from first off, national champion Scott Frost. I forgot to say that. Undefeated.
Well, national champion, beloved in the state, Scott
Yeah.
Frost.
Yeah, and so he's back, and we'll see whether he can do it again. If he can do anything
No,
similar.
I'm saying he was a
Oh, he was
national
beloved
champion
there.
quarterback is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying he was national championship coach because he wasn't.
What about Butch Jones?
Even though you like to claim that championship.
Oh my gosh, Sergeant Carter
Butch
up in
Jones
Tennessee
was
with the
awesome.
trash can. He was terrible.
Tyrone Willingham.
Yeah. Notre Dame.
I want to stop real quick. No one on that Tennessee staff looked at him and said, "We have a trash can on the sideline
Sergeant Carter.
that
Sergeant
we're throwing
Carter.
footballs in
Yeah, we can't do it.
that has the Tennessee checkerboard on it.
Right.
Are we doing something wrong right now, Butch?"
Are they going to think we're trash just because we have a trash can right there?
Well, like,
Answer yes.
somebody had to have said something to him.
And we're champions. Okay, that's what he
Champions
said.
of life, he
Speaking of
said.
undefeated
Champions
and
of life.
champions.
I'm actually okay with champions of life. That's fine. It's
Oh,
the
no,
trash
not
can.
at Tennessee.
It's
You
the
can't-
trash
that's
can
something
that
you
got
say
me,
at
man.
Temple.
So
Yeah.
Scott Frost.
Golly.
Scott Frost was 16-31 at Nebraska.
He was going to go there to save the program.
Yeah, and they had their share of problems, and I guess you could go to recruiting more than anything else because it ain't the same. If you want to talk about things that have changed, Nebraska used to rule the roost with some of the best players in the nation.
Yeah, they could recruit Los Angeles a lot easier when it was Osborne.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't. They can't now. It's obvious they can't. So I mean, he would have been smart to take the Florida job. Is what he would have been smart to do.
Where does Jerry DiNardo rank for you? All right, we're going back in time, but I'm just trying to think of some of those guys.
Well, Alabama in general before
right.
Saban had like some
Mike
of the
Price.
worst couple.
The Mike Price,
Mike
the Mike
DeBose.
DeBose, the Dennis Franchonis, the Spaghetti Westerns, everything. Roll Tide, roll. There was.
How about Brian Harsin at Auburn?
It did not work out.
Oh, I forget. Well,
Did
they
not
ran.
work
They
out.
didn't even really
They
give
ran
him too
him off.
much of a chance. What?
Yeah.
I know we talked about it during the break, but I forget his name. The guy from Texas, who was
Oh, yeah.
a
Yeah,
no
Tom
hit.
Herman.
Tom Herman. Everybody. I think he was at FAU as well.
LSU was like,
That's right, he
wanted
left.
him badly.
Everybody. He was like the no miss coaching prospect. That like, wow, I can't believe that Texas finally. Was that after?
He was
I think
a good.
that was right after Mac.
He was an
right?
Herb disciple. And was Makovic after?
I don't know, but speaking of Herb to the Jags.
Yeah,
I want to talk about
that's a totally different category.
That deserves its own.
He swept the category on that.
category.
All right. So anyway, think about it. We'll finish up here in just a second. We're just having a little.
I'm just
fun.
sorry we're in this situation.
Yeah. Kevin Sumlin. How about that one? That one was bad.
I mean, somebody had a couple good years.
Yeah,
though.
that was
Johnny
it.
Manziel, right?
Thank you,
A
Johnny.
couple really good years at A&M.
He paid him for
And
it.
quite frankly, he didn't do what every other coach there's done. Texas 8-5, same thing.
Yeah. He just
No different.
he got paid a big old contract at there and where? Arizona? And
In Arizona, the thing is, he only got like I think $11 million to walk away from A&M. Jimbo got 70.
yeah, that's nuts. That is nuts.
How about Lane at Tennessee?
Yeah, that was
another bad one.
disastrous for sure. Yeah. All right. He's doing his press conference. I'm going to turn Florida in. They just had a violation. It's XL Primetime.
Is there anybody here can tell me where happiness comes from? 1010XL. Anyone? All right, 1010XL.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
Florida heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 19, 2016, the Cleveland Cavaliers win their first title after beating the Golden State Warriors in Game 7, the first team to overcome a 3-1
skilled
deficit.
electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and about color and weight. But how do you judge the clarity of a diamond?
Frank, that's a good question that has a very specific answer. Diamonds are graded at 10-power magnification using a binocular microscope. But when you're shopping for diamonds, a lot of times a sales clerk will just hand you a magnifying glass called a jeweler's loupe and have you look into the diamond. While an expert knows how to do this, it's kind of tough on a novice because they don't know how to create the same dark field illumination that a binocular microscope gives. As a result, the customer may or may not be able to see anything. That's why at Underwoods we set the clarity grade of a diamond with a binocular microscope. We have these instruments in every store and invite our customers to examine the diamond underneath them. We can show you the microscopic inclusions that affect the rarity and value of a diamond. So if you're shopping for fine quality diamonds and want the facts, come see us at Underwoods.
That's Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Leon Searcy here. There's a little bit less of the big fella right now, thanks to physician-guided weight loss. I'm down 15 pounds in just 2 months. Already feeling better than I have in years. And with no side effects using that GLP-1 prescription. Gotta admit, it's pretty easy. And right now, you can get the first month at just $90 with a visit, the meds, and the 3D body scan. Don't wait to bring sexy back. Get started now with physician-guided weight loss at pgweightloss.com.
PT here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is that, listen, I love more ball, all right? I know they extend the college football playoff, and I can be a bit of an elitist and snob, and I said something about my rings only having one loss and no losses on them, but I just can't imagine a college football team with a national championship ring with 4 and 5 losses on it, 3, 4, 5 losses.
Unthinkable.
It's just unthinkable for me right now. But you know what? Matt's right. I mean, this is now the NFL. College football is now the NFL. So you might as well get used to it.
NFL light.
Yeah.
I can't tolerate it. I love the ball, but just still can't get used to it.
I know. There's nothing wrong with wishing for days gone by.
No, not at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, my takeaway would be something we were talking off the air, which you don't know about yet, Joe, but we can't do that on the air.
Yeah. That's your takeaway?
No, it's not my takeaway.
Don't do that to the listeners.
I won't. My takeaway is, look, it's still college ball. Any way you look at it, it's college football.
Mm-hmm.
You're still. It looks more like the NFL. There's no doubt about it. The players get paid. The rules are going more toward what the NFL does. You know, you've got the helmet communications like the NFL. It's all going toward the NFL. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, you still have. It's a regional sport because it's a different type of fandom in college football than it is in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what has always separated it. And I don't think you could ever, no matter what they do to college football to make it look more like the NFL, you're never going to change the fact that the fan bases are completely different. Completely different.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of college football, why college football, like the NFL, is bulletproof. They're just bulletproof for different reasons.
Yeah. I think the NFL's they've been used to player movement. They understand player movement. They see new faces come in. The draft renews the energy, and free agents renew the energy. But, and Leon, you know this better than we do, that you only got to have player movement when your contract was up. And at least the NFL makes sense in that regard. Mm-hmm. The world of ball, college ball, not just college football, the world of college ball that we're in right now does not make sense.
Well, only because they won't embrace the collective bargaining. That's the only
because
reason.
it's just the wicked player movement that and we're talking about a massive shift in, I don't know whether control is the right word or not, but I guess maybe it is. It's just a massive shift. Okay, any way you want to describe it.
Players had zero power.
Yeah,
now they have all the power.
It's stuff that you're just this is so unfamiliar to me type of feeling is really what it is. And if it would have just kind of eased its way into that, you might have accepted it.
There's no easing into it.
There was no. You want to talk about
barn doors were open and that was it, man.
Yeah, it was just nuts. But you would love to have been a free agent every single year, would you not? Okay, I like that. Your first response is,
and I'm only responding that because it was never available to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of liked it that much.
And like the idea of just being part of one team.
Exactly.
And
right, 20-year-old Leon, if somebody's throwing him a couple mil in front of him, that might be a little different.
No.
Stay steady.
NFL.
See, I don't believe that.
You believe it?
I don't.
See, you didn't know 20-year-old Leon. Leon, first of all, 20-year-old Leon loved Miami. It'd be hard to get
I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt
hard
about
to get
that.
me up out of it.
No doubt about that at all.
I told you that Miami, when you win, I said, you win
how
at
much
Miami,
money did 20-year-old
the
Leon
streets
have in his
feed you. When you win at Miami, the streets feed you. So I was fed.
They're not feeding you $2-3 million a year. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not going nowhere. NFL compensated me.
I tell you one thing that did get me, just as far as good feelings and whatnot. We went down to the bank yesterday to do a little promo deal, and
what'd you call this?
Sizzle reels. Yes.
You had to explain the whole sizzle reel thing.
Sizzle reels, which will come later, but I'm just saying, just a promo thing right now. And was it not the coolest thing ever to see Leon standing in the tunnel
Yeah, it
and
was.
start to get fired up. And what did you say? 25 years.
25 years ago, man. It just brought back memories, man.
He started getting fired up.
Not only that, his voice started.
kick their ass.
Oh my
JJ,
God.
his voice started to get like more baritone. And
Oh, my
like, it
gosh.
was like echoing throughout the tunnel too.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I used to tell myself before I go on the field every game, and you have to have this kind of mindset. I used to say I'm the baddest mofo on the field. Before I walked out on it, I used to tell myself that I had to get myself.
I'm sure the current Jags do the same.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
They tell
No
themselves
doubt in my
that.
mind they do.
They just don't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't act on it like you did.
Yeah, I guess
But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. All right. Now, this guy's a champion. We may have a champion tonight when it's all said and done, right? Between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. We're going to find out. I've got one question that we'll try and throw out before we're done. But first, you want to talk about champions?
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
Coolest cats in town.
The embedded and shredded. I won't ask if you were ever given the trash can by Butch Jones as far as the champions for life.
Yeah.
No, I won't ask because you're a Gator, okay?
Yeah.
I can't even put you on the Tennessee sideline with the trash can.
I don't know how anybody can be a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
I mean, the color would be a deal breaker for me. I mean, how Derek Dooley wore those pants and didn't get arrested.
Yeah. And Derek Dooley's another bad hire that we forgot
No
to
one's
bring up.
worse than the PE coach, Jeremy Pruitt. The worst.
Although Derek Dooley had one of the greatest quotes of all time when it's like halfway through a dismal year. And he's like, our team has no shower discipline. Like, they can't even shower. Remember when he was like, shower discipline?
Oh, my gosh. I don't remember that, but that's classic.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of shower discipline,
Yes.
Frank Frangie, what is coming up?
Well, we're going to have a very good Frangie show. We're excited about it. Lee Smith is going to join us at 4:20, the executive director of the Players Championship, to talk golf. Big event, signature event, the final one of the PGA Tour season going on in Connecticut right now, the Travelers Championship. And I don't know much about the guy that shot the 62. Eckroat, is that how you, Austin Eckroat?
Yeah, Austin Eckroat has won before. I believe he won down at Palm Beach Gardens. But anyway, good player.
Yeah, and but it's Rory, it's Scheffler. Obviously, the headliners are all in the field for the most part. So that'll be fun talking to Lee about that, and certainly recapping the U.S. Open at Oakmont. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll talk a ton Jaguar, Gators, all good stuff. Some Knowles coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, my brother. That sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
I got to give you guys this Derek Dooley quote before we end the show.
Yes. Okay.
We did a clinic yesterday on proper shower technique and soap and using a rag. We put some new rags in. Y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm serious. We talked a little about body application of soap to the rag and making sure it hits all of your body. You know, you can neglect it trying to cut corners, and it shows in how you practice and elsewhere. I'm hoping we show some improvement in that.
How did he know they had shower
problems? Smelled.
Because they stunk.
On and off the field.
On and off the field. Listen, you have just brought up something that you have a homework assignment now. We need the actual audio of that because if we
I'll
can
work on it. It's from 2000.
I don't know whether you can get it or
you got
not.
to guarantee it's on YouTube.
But if you can marry that up with Fran Brown, winners get washed. I just want a little bit of that. That would be awesome. Unbelievable. You know what? He may have been the first guy that came up with the idea that's, what's the thing on the air now? Lumi, whatever, the whole body spray. Derek Dooley may have been the first guy. He may have been onto something.
That woman creeps me out a little.
She does scare the hell out
Just
of me,
a little
too.
bit, man.
But just the whole idea. They got commercials now where all you do is press the button and you just spray it all over.
Right.
Everywhere.
Right.
Have you seen some of those commercials?
I have.
It's unreal. I don't. All right. I mean, never mind.
We're gonna have to get into this tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, we're done. We're getting the hook. Big Sirs, Maddie, Joe C, JJ. You got the Frangie Show coming up next. Spray everywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Even more Jaguars.